Ladies and gents, we are back, and this next match is Curro Durbanville versus Pinelands. Pinelands had a bit of a rough encounter earlier against the Paul Rose first side, coming away with a 6-0 loss. Curro Durbanville, coached by Brennan Kieswetter, looking to come away with a victory here. We are expecting to be quite an intense matchup, as Pinelands look to move the ball through the middle of the park. Pinelands being captained by Tawfiq Khali, Adam Graham vice captain. And as with their first match, they're looking to string positive passes together, so looking for the simple pass. It's going to be all about managing the pace here, and managing the pace of the entire match. Pinelands historically have been a incredible opposition to come against. And Curro Durbanville playing that characteristic flair branded game of hockey. Curro Durbanville being a school that has quite a few big names coming through their ranks. With Kino Christians and Liam Glasby coming out of there last year. Kino Christians now at UJ, was also the top goal scorer at the Western Provinces Boland under 18 series last year, playing for the Western Province under 18A side. Pinelands here looking to capitalize on the spaces that are being made available to the middle of the park. Playing a calm brand here. Just the easy turnovers will cost them against a squad like this, where pace will be everywhere. Very well managed there in defense by Pinelands. Pinelands will be looking to maintain this position. Their game, as coached by Randall Hendricks, is all about a patient brand, with Jade Hearn also being one of the hockey leaders there, and neat little deflection and well saved by the goalkeeper. Just a little bit of discussion there with umpire Aintree Burns, but PC is the call and PC will remain the call. Umpires will not change the decision and should not. We'll need a second school today to utilize water at the push out area, which does aid with the pace of pushing out and consistency. Curro going for a very simple single castle up top. Good push, looking to move the ball around and finding its way over the baseline. And I'm joined by Coach Chris Gibson. Chris, how's your day been?
Hi Ronald, yeah, it's been a very good day. Nice to see the boys and girls out on the turf and enjoying what Cape Town has produced, a beautiful day in the mother city.
Yeah, it's been quite warm. I'm actually quite happy with a little bit of the Milnerton breeze that you guys have given us.
Yeah, we're always happy for the breeze. The only problem in Milnerton is the breeze is very rare. Or it's just here for a bit and then it just becomes a gale force. So yeah, today is a beaut. And yeah, we have a lot of people complaining about the wind in Milnerton, but without it, it's stinking hot like it is today.
And we've had quite a few players struggle with just the actual hot and heat conditions so far today. We've seen players clamoring for ice blocks and water. How's your sides been doing with the conditions?
Yeah, no, they're not immune to it. Just as badly affected as most of the other teams. The sun has taken no prisoners here. The girls are doing okay though. They're sitting in the shade. It's one of the girls' birthdays, Tana Buerta, so 18th. So she spoiled them with cupcakes and energades now, so they're all enjoying that. But yeah, it's tough conditions. But geez, we'd rather be out here in the sun enjoying hockey than just sitting at home doing nothing. So yeah, it's great.
What do you mean spoiled them with cupcakes? Where are our cupcakes, Mr. Gibson?
You'll be surprised. These girls chow. There's nothing left.
Yeah, this has definitely been one of the interesting matchups so far today. You know, that last match with your ladies against Satis Droste turned into quite a heated affair. I think there were lots of egos on the line as Curro looked to find something in the D and ball still scrappy and lots of bodies finding their way up and down across it, and Pinelands coming away with the ball, but time stopped by umpire Burns. Looks like we have a little bit of a head injury.
It's been very interesting, Randall. It's what I've noticed over the past few games that I've seen, especially at Milnerton, is it's been a lot of collisions, and I don't know if it's just with the kids just not being used to exactly how to be alert and stay out of the contact zone of their opponents. You know, maybe because we haven't played that much hockey over the last 2 years, but there's been a lot of coming togethers of different players, boys and girls.
And Durbanville again looking to get something on the board there. Yeah, and the collisions comment is actually something we've also noted from over here in the commentary box. Oh, what a silky little work through there over the baseline. As the Pinelands team manager, Alison Dewar, just calling and having one of their players replaced because of that knock to the head. Now, the collisions have been a little bit worrisome. You also don't want players going back on if they've had a potential concussion.
No, definitely. The concussion protocols are very strict, and as they should be. I mean, we've had a girl at Milnerton as well who last week Sunday got a concussion, and she's been ruled out for 10 days just as precaution. So yeah, it's something we do need to take seriously, and I'm glad to see the medics have and the management of Pinelands have accepted that their player probably isn't going to be available in the near future. See Curro taking it quick there. Really nice play there from Caleb Ferreira, good shot. Caleb looking to take the free hit quickly. Good ball speed.
Curro have definitely been wide awake here today.
Guys, who's switching? Like, there's no goalkeeper watching.
Curro have been in the D. They've actually spent a lot of time in that D. Unable to convert thus far. 9 minutes gone. Or almost 9 minutes gone. On the question of concussions, every now and then you'll hear parents saying, no, just a little bit of ice and walk it off. But if you've seen what happens following concussions with injuries, you'll know why we can't allow it. And
No, for sure.
short corner given.
100%, yeah. I think the concussion's been taken very seriously, quite rightly as it should. As we see Curro taking the free hit really quickly there, taking advantage of the fact that Pinelands weren't 5 and they've won the short corner.
There's another opportunity here for Curro. They've had a very interesting mix of short corners so far. The first one being with a single castle on top and then looking like an indoor style drag flick, looking to go around the first wave. This one with a classic zigzag and spin, and wow.
Great finish that. Good composure at the top of the circle, and ultimately a really good finish as Curro take the lead.
Now that was quite efficient, making full use of the body.
See the replay there, it does really well to get the ball out of his feet and around the top corner.
That's the kind of play you expect from senior men. And as you say, that Pinelands looking to find their way through, and after taking the 6-0 earlier, I'm sure they'll be desperate to put something on the board. Unfortunately, throwing the ball away cheaply there. And with just over 9.5 left, we see Curro taking advantage of the spaces that have been afforded to him in the field, and wide open on top D, linking up fantastically and just unable to connect that last one with the goal box. And this being game number 9 of the day. So for some of the members working here today, it has been quite a long day. I'm just looking at the formation here by both sides.
Keegan Rogers on the ball. Pinelands with an outlet opportunity here. Look a little bit unsure as to exactly what they're wanting to do. As you won't see it just off picture, we are waiting for one of the Pinelands players who's being escorted. It also looks like he's picked up a knock. You can see him maybe in the top left corner of your screen now, just being escorted off.
Yeah, he did take a little bit of a knock in his first match against Paul Roos. He's actually mentioned that his kneecap had popped out, so that'll be number 2 of the day, I believe, as Curro will win another short corner.
Keegan Roger on pictures got a really mean drag flick, so she'll be looking to maybe go across the keeper, top right corner.
Well, mean drag flick with the wrist brace. You can only imagine what it's like without the wrist brace. Oh, looking to do the zigzag again, but Pinelands well away. Looks like they have the Enigma machine out reading the code, and big shot comes across, but umpire Entry Burn says that was the back of your stick, sir. Ooh, what a pickup, and going at full pace. In situations like that, you almost hope that there wouldn't be a breakdown and Pinelands would make it all the way.
Yeah, no, from Curro's point of view, they've obviously done what they need to, just break down the play, get time for their players to drop back in, so yeah, they'll be happy with that. That's exactly why. Now they've had numbers behind the ball and they're able to press.
Lots of space there, and can he get that? Unfortunately, unable to get the loose ball out. A little bit of a chop there on the stick. 5.5 minutes left here. Curro leading 1-0, but they've definitely been winning the possession game. Definitely winning the pace game, as Pinelands do find themselves taking quite a bit of time on the free hits. It's just struggling to connect those passes as another intercept comes through.
Really good hands there from the Curro player.
There's a Curro
Keegan
captain.
Roger, it's under the shoulder. And just can't get the tap in on the far post there, right across the front of the goalkeeper.
If you are the Pinelands captain, you definitely don't want something like that happening. Now the loose ball comes straight through the top D, and young man is there looking for something, and they are looking to capitalize in that 9-yard area, looking for those deflections just outside of the box. The field is awfully quiet. Curro playing with this almost Namibian brand of hockey.
What do you mean by that, Randall?
Well, if you've watched the Namibian men's play, it is the quietest teams in Africa. They barely speak on the field, both indoor and outdoor. And they won another short corner here, and just having a quick discussion about what the potential call will be. Ball going short and looking for something across the D, and lifted it up, and that's goal. Bit of a wild variation there. If we look at this replay, we just see that postman on the line, and that was the previous short corner. We will get the recent short corner in the half-time break. With 2 minutes left in this first half. Looking to push a big overhead, but well intercepted and just outside the 25, and back Curro come at pace. The ball rolling away. And Coach Kieswet actually shouting that guys need to just take a breath.
Yeah, I think it's been a common theme in all the games I've witnessed so far at the festival, is everyone's very keen to play, and often to their detriment, because their players aren't actually in position to receive the next phase of play yet, and all you end up doing is just giving the ball away, finding yourself under pressure.
And as we had mentioned earlier, festival hockey is exhausting, both physically and mentally. Look at this passage of play here by Curro Durbanville, just exploiting those open triangles. We're seeing a bit of a change in the body language of both sides. Curro looking a little bit more relaxed, Pinelands looking a little bit more tense. With just about 40 seconds left. Another turnover on the outside as Curro come through on that baseline looking for something on the short side.
It's really good defending there from Pinelands, and now they've got a counter. Oh, great step there. They're looking for a connection.
A bit of a stick block there. Well spotted by umpire Burns.
Very well blown that.
Yeah, little Aintree Burns was actually a captain of the Curro side once upon a time. And that's half time.
Half time sees Curro leading 2-0.
Yeah, ladies and gents, if you're seeing this ad online, you can just scan it with your phone. It's 250 rand off your first order at 4 Ways Online. It is quite hot here, so I would suggest getting an air conditioner right now. Maybe something extra for your house.
Yeah, we're very thankful to 4 Ways, who's made it possible for us to bring these streams to you. Their loyal support has been great, and you go through to their website, you'll be blown away with the variety that they've got.
Mr. Gibson, while we have you here, you're one of the chief organizers of this event. Can you share some stats with us here? How many teams, how many venues, what kind of numbers are we expecting in terms of players for the weekend?
Yeah, so we're fortunate. We're in our 4th year of this festival. It started in 2018. Obviously we skipped last year. We were very fortunate. We had our 3rd one was just literally the weekend before we got locked down, so that was good. But this weekend we've got 86 fixtures being contested by 42 teams, and I'd imagine if you worked on squads of 15 per team, that it's about 600 odd players that will be in and around this weekend playing and enjoying the beautiful game of hockey. And it's been awesome. It's nice to see how the festival's grown over the last 4 years. We started with one turf in 2018, 15 teams. And 5 years later now, in our 4th edition, we're on 3 venues and 42 teams. So it's going from strength to strength, and we're very thankful to all the schools and players for the support and being here ultimately.
I remember about 10 years ago there were comments about in the US their hockey festival, the varsity festival, as the ball comes into top D and he finds it, keep strikers overrun, and what a finish.
That was a great goal on the back stick. Keeper caught off guard, and just like that, 3-0. It's a long way back for Pinelands now.
Rinsing both those defenders, it's like he applied the brakes and they just kept going. Yeah, about 10 years ago we spoke about, here's the replay coming through now. Just watch those 2 defenders, they both overrun. Third defender just, or third and fourth just allowing a clear shot straight through. I'm sure keeper will be less than happy about that. Pineland look to regroup, and as the call comes, created 2-on-1s. They do come away with the ball here, but they would want to find their way to the D, but they're playing a very patient style again. Taking advantage of the space on the park. Sure, they will be excited to find their way to the other side of the D. As we mentioned, I think it was about 10 years ago, the USA Girls Hockey Festivals, they were talking about 3,000 players, and we thought that's never going to happen here. And look at us now.
Yeah, no, and look, Randall, if you had to look at around what's happening in the country, this game's being televised on Supersport schools, and you just look at the amount of events that are actually happening, whether it be hockey, rugby, cricket, well, not cricket, but squash. There's just so much happening, and it's actually so awesome to see that that players are back out there doing what they love, you know, and parents are out there on the side of the field supporting their children, and yeah, it's great.
I think with this new digital age, you do give each player and coach that extra edge in being able to analyze as the ball finds a way to top D, patiently playing, but Pinelands wide awake there. And now the big counter comes through and snuffed out once again. Desperate defense, trying to keep him outside, but he finds his way through 2-3, looking for a call from the umpire, but umpire not seeing anything wrong. Umpire Liam Ferguson, very experienced. And with just about 15 minutes left, we're seeing this Curro attack, looking to find a way in, but Pinelands back on the counter. That ball just not finding a stick, but can it? Unfortunately, they're only over 4-16 on the other side.
Pinelands with a great chance to pull one back there, and unfortunately just couldn't get the shot on target.
That would have been one of the few opportunities they've had today.
See the good counter here from Liam Glasby, and a great finish, top left. Nice counter attack there, and a fantastic finish. Curro 4-0 up.
Yeah, 4-0, 14 and a half to go. If they put two more past there, it'll be like deja vu for Pinelands. The first match going down 6-0.
You see the replay here. Really good skill, beats him. And then just a really composed finish across the keeper. Fantastic individual goal that.
That was a crack of a shot.
Back live now. Back live, and it's still 4-0 to Curro.
And looking like a little bit of a carbon copy of that last play, and turns around and umpire picking up, centre off picking up, and Liam Ferguson saying Curro ball just outside. Ooh, what a tackle. And now they have the 2-on-1, but it's actually just, he's just outrun his support. I believe that was Adam Graham, the vice captain, who ran away there. very patient defense. We're looking at this. I think that's been a bit of a problem for Pinelands is once they win the turnover, not being able to find another pass and connect. We've even had situations where players are outrunning their support on the ball. Makes it really difficult to put anything on the board. As we say that another one of the Pinelands players finding his way to the shade behind us.
Yeah, I think the boys are really struggling here in the heat. They're looking for shade everywhere. Being the time of day that it is, sun's still pretty high. There's pretty much nowhere to hide from the sun, but he's managed to find a little gap here behind the scaffolding where there's a tiny bit of shade. We see Caleb Ferreira on the ball, simple, easy pass to the left link, Keegan Roger. One really good positive thing from Curro has been, you can see they don't try and run with the ball too much. You know, their eyes are pretty much up straight away. As we see there, he's taken 2 steps and made the pass, and that's a really positive point from there. And I think a lot of teams and coaches can take a big learning from that. Where the boys, I mean, as you see, they haven't done too much running themselves. They tried to move the ball and play a team game as much as possible, which is great.
Yeah, Curro have a similar turf to this where he's a little bit more spongy, a little bit slower. So I think they would have, with Coach Kiesvetter, worked out the most efficient way to apply their strategy. We know that someone's going to complain about the speed of the turf, but it's never an excuse because turfs are different no matter where you go.
We can't play with outside factors, Randall. We've got to, you know, I mean, the turfs also do play a bit quicker. Sometimes it's a bit cooler and a little bit wet. So yeah, it's one of those things. See a nice counter in this example. I'm sure he'll look to make a pass as we do. Great finish. Really good hockey there. Really good finish there from Kira, as we saw in the background there. The Pinelands keeper not too happy with the situation.
Yeah, that was class, absolute class. It's again, as we mentioned before, it just seems like the legs are not there for everyone. So we have a look at the replay. And just not smart defense by the defenders. Just allowing, and there was 3 defenders there allowing 1 striker space to pick up.
Yeah, Kira firmly in control here, just moving the ball around really nice here.
Yeah, what's also impressed me about this Curro squad, it's one of the few squads that haven't been trying to play unnecessary overheads and blind passes and 50-50s. They're looking for those 100% passes. And look at them on their baseline there and converting once again.
Jeez, that's a really nice goal, and good loading your zones. You know, we talk about left wing, centre forward, right wing, but when you get in the D, it's talk about far post, 45, B point. You know, and they're on the far post just lining up. Any one of them could have had that goal. So we see the replay here.
Yeah, the numbers there. Far post and B spot loaded.
We're back live. This is an interesting one, yeah. could be 50-50, yeah? Looked like he might have kicked it in. Long corner. Interesting, eh? Umpire ruling that the Curro player didn't play it in the D.
Yeah, I think that call came from the other umpire via the walkies, just as an extra confirmation. But as I like to say, whatever the umpire says goes.
Yeah, we got to accept that. That's 100% right.
The more confidence we have in our umpires, the better they become.
So Randall, where are you tomorrow? Are you involved commentating calling any games tomorrow?
Well, you know, I had planned to be at a different venue, but then a certain guy named Chris Gibson said, hey man, you know, you need to be back here tomorrow. So I'll be back on tomorrow at the same time. So from the 8:50 match out here at Milnerton.
Okay, so you're missing the first game of the day, Paul Roos versus Curro. Is Paul Roos versus Curro tomorrow morning, first game?
Yes, that's correct. Unfortunately, I
big
can't
game.
watch my alma mater play again.
You're Paul Roos old boy?
Unfortunately, yes.
Unfortunately. I must be very proud of what they've been able to achieve over the last few years, especially on the hockey field. They've stepped the game up hugely. Or were they always competitive back in your day?
Always competitive. I mean, and back in 03, the only squads we lost to were Grey College and Wynberg, and that was Devin Stanton, Vaughan Erasmus, and those boys back then. So we've always, I mean, the squads have always been super competitive out in Boland. Sure, gonna come push out and quite a pacey flick going wide there.
Liam Glasby just losing his feeting at the vital time, and maybe that's the reason it's gone off target.
Yeah, I think that match, that first match tomorrow morning between Paul Roos and Curro Durbanville will be one of the most hotly contested games of this festival.
Yeah, I think it's fair to say it could arguably be potentially the biggest boys' game of the festival, if you had to look at the results so far. Nice save there, great save from Pinelands. If you look at how the results have lined up between Paul Roos and Curro so far, you would say they look to be evenly matched. So it should be a really good game tomorrow morning. Yeah, at Milnerton High School.
Yeah, for sure. And I'll be joining from the second game onwards, all the way through to the 13:50 game, Curro versus Belleville. I'll be joined by one of the big names of Western Province and South African hockey, Mr. Kurt.
It's going to be awesome to have Kurt Serfontein on the mic. Always a lot of good knowledge that he passes on. So it's, we're looking forward to having him here tomorrow.
Yeah, hoping that everyone will be on their best behavior with our Sahara rep.
So as we were talking about the wind a bit earlier, we can definitely see it's picked up. Typical Milnerton in the afternoon, school comes out and the wind just starts pumping as we get out onto the turf. But Curro seem to be making the most of it. They're enjoying their time out here.
So is this how the Milnerton locals get home to save fuel in the afternoon? You just jump and let the wind carry you?
Yeah, just drive with the doors open and it just blows you all the way home.
The score's still 6-0, so this is currently on par for previous Pinelands encounter, which was against Paul Roos, but I'm someone who loves to see goals being scored, so it'd be quite good if Pinelands could just put something on the board.
Come on, let's see Pinelands get in the final third there and at least test the Curro goalkeeper, Alex Kraus. Make him make a save or two. It would be awesome. See another counter, really quick pass around again. Ooh.
Good clearance, but going straight back to Curro player and short corner.
Yeah, as long as it's effective, it's fine. It was a little bit agricultural. They've clearance, interesting clearance from the keeper, but managed to get the ball away.
Yeah, there was a little bit of a chop and swing, unlike the earlier chop and swing that saw the stick flying, but doing his job there, getting the ball out. And Pinelands captain Tawfiq Khali also in defense in goal. 3 minutes left. I'm sure Curro will be looking to get another one on the board here. And ball going a little bit short, looking for the deflection, and goal time on the line. They go 7 up, and thanks to our other sponsor now, Winner Cybersecurity Specialists.
Yeah, very exciting company. They're actually just based up the road here from Milnerton, and yeah, this day and age of cybersecurity needs, look into them and get them involved. Just see the replay of the short corner. Caught our cameraman off guard there a bit with going totally away from the front castle, and a nice deflection on the far post.
They definitely caught the postman off guard there. As we see a hat rolling across.
Yeah, if you were doubting how windy it is getting here, our tech table official's hat has just made a streaker's appearance on the field. Yeah, so Randall, fair to say Curro has been good value for their 7-0 lead at the moment?
Yeah, this has been an absolutely impressive performance by Curro, commanding maintenance of possession. The fact that they've been able to keep the Pinelands' heads down and keep their eyes down throughout the match. Interceptions have been incredible. Not afraid to take the game to them as they work themselves back along the baseline here. And everyone coming away to Pinelands with just over a minute left. Maximum pressure being applied in the D. Turning over a trough inside the D in a 2v1 situation. If I'm a defensive coach there, I'd be a little bit worried. And just under 40 seconds left. Safe to say tomorrow morning's first encounter will be a big one. Any stand-up performance for you today, Mr. Gibson?
No, there hasn't really been an individual. I would just say, like, echoing my comments from earlier, Curro have played a really nice team game. They've moved the ball around really well, and yeah, I think they've been good value.
As we like to say, going toe-to-toe individually, you will have to work so much harder. And doing this as a team has definitely paid off for them. 7-0 on the board. Excellent performance by Curro. Ladies and gents, that'll be game number 9 done today, and we have just a few more encounters left. I believe next up will be Aties Droste versus Westerford and Paul Roos versus Somerset College.
Yeah, the Paul Roos game this afternoon could also be a really nice game.
With that, we will say goodbye and join in a few minutes.
Because they've got like